the mind, which is the heart, becomes more spacious, it opens. So then the black hole becomes a little bit wider where you're sitting. And then, because there's love and compassion there, because it's always there, love and compassion is always there, it's just covered by self-cherishing. That's also why self-cherishing is a disadvantage, because your love and compassion cannot come out, not even for yourself, proper love. It's this kind of self-centered love that does all kinds of stupid things. So then you think like, well, if I'm so sad and if I'm so depressed, it's also not, they're also going to be sad. So you feel like some kind of responsibility and duty, not pressure. Yeah, be careful. You have to be very, there you really have to know your mind. How far can I go with that thought? I have a duty towards them not to be depressed so that they're not happy. If you take it as a pressure, don't do it. You're not allowed to do it. If you see it as a help, you can do it, you know. Because then, if you feel it as a pressure, then guilt comes in because you're not happy, and then it gets worse. Yeah. So see, this is how complicated the mind is. This is how we really have to learn to become our own therapists, to really know what's going on in the mind, also on subtle levels. Yeah. It's very, very difficult to see our motivations, but with time you start to see it, and with time these methods really start to work. And you're able to, the awareness sees, okay, boom, going downhill. So the first thought is, if I don't need to go out because I'm in a bad mood, if you're still in a bad mood when you're depressed, sometimes, you know, I've overcome that. I've overcome the bad mood when I'm depressed, but I'm still depressed sometimes. So what I did at Tushita, when I was depressed and in a bad mood, I would go down to the office and say, look, I'm in a really bad mood today. So in order not to get hurt, please do not ask anything from me today that you don't need to ask. Just leave me alone. And then we all started laughing. Be honest about how you feel. Communicate how you feel. People might turn it against you, that's true. But in general, people appreciate it. And then when they still come and nag, and you explode and they complain, I said, yeah, I warned you. Yeah, but usually the whole thing, it just lifted up and we all started laughing. And then we had this song that we would sing when somebody got hurt or something. We would turn around, we turned it back towards the person who has harmed us. There's monks and nuns who do these things. And we start walking away like this and going, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I'm going to eat some worms, big, fat, slimy ones, small, thin, whatever, fuzzy ones, then I don't know. And we didn't need to go any further. Everybody laughed. Because nobody likes me, everybody hates me. It's such a joke. It's not true. And when you say it and when you sing it, you start to see how ridiculous you are at that moment. Your ego is telling you, nobody likes me, everybody hates me. It's totally wrong. Try to learn that song. It's very helpful for depression. It's very, very... Somebody said she tried it out. Here in Israel, she tried it out in her office and it really worked. It lifted up the whole kind of tension in the office. So, the disadvantage of cherishing self, we become selfish people. And we become anti-friars. We do a lot not to be the friar. And we can create a lot of negative karma by doing that. And it creates a problem for others also when we fight for every little thing. And, you know, I'm right and you're wrong. And, you know, this is my spot here. At one point I was in the post office. It was pretty much at the beginning of my coming to Israel. I didn't know these things yet. So, you know, these cultural behavior things that they're neither good nor bad. They're just learned habits. So I went into the post, I wanted to go into the post office and somebody came out, so I held the door. So somebody zoop, slipped in, and it was the time where it was no numbers yet, you know. So the person stood in line, I stood behind the person. So all of a sudden I feel the person getting a bit uncomfortable. She starts looking at me and I go, what's wrong with that one? So then she looks again, I said, Shalom. And then again she goes, she looks again, she said, oh, you can go in front. And I said, no, I don't need to. I'm not in a hurry. Then she said, but it's your right. I said, yeah, okay, maybe it's my right, but you seem to be in a hurry. So, I have the whole day to wait here. So why should you go in front? So she relaxed. I was relaxed from the beginning because I didn't know what was going on, that this is a game here, like who is first and who is second. I didn't know. So then I went to the supermarket, and everything written in Hebrew. I don't know if I'm buying mayonnaise or cream or whatever. At one point I ate the whole pot of sour cream, and I said, wow, your yogurt is really good. She said, yeah, you just ate the sour cream. So she was in there, she saw that I was looking for something. She came and asked me if she could help me. You see, if I would have been angry at her, if I said, hey, I was here first, do you think she would have helped me in the supermarket? Your shopping malls and your train stations where there's lines are very, very, very good places to make very good friends. It's easy to make enemies also. You can make both, yeah? Or one point also I was in the train station and there was only one counter open and it took a while for the woman in front. And so, quick enough, 3 people behind me, and they're all women. They all go like, only one counter open. So again, I turned around and said, look, I'm not in a hurry. If she's finished, you can go in front of me. And then the woman who was behind her said the same thing to the woman behind her. And it all calmed down, just like this. I could have also go like, yeah, it's terrible. What kind of country in Switzerland we have like many counters? It's not even true. We have machines in Switzerland. We don't even have people anymore in the train stations. And everybody buys the ticket on the telephone these days. So you see, this is it. This is when we go with, we can either contribute to the tension or we can totally relax and say, yeah, you want to go first, it's fine. Such a small thing. This is how we train. Or trying to go on the 480 bus. In Tel Aviv is easy because there's like, there's borders, one after the other. In Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, at between 3 and 5, it's so difficult that I took the train the other day. I said, I'm not going to go through this again. I took the train that goes through Beit Shemesh, and it's a wonderful train ride, and it took 2 hours. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So this is what we can do when we kind of go with self-cherishing, that we start to see the disadvantage of it. So the first thing that we see is that we see it in others. Yeah, they don't get, I can't give them what they want. And it makes me unhappy. It makes me alone. So when we see it in others, we also see it's the same for me. And then all of a sudden, and there now you have to be very strong. Because when we start to explore that, all of a sudden we see how much self-cherishing we ourselves have. And that's not so nice to see. So again, this is why when we started this course, we started with everybody has pure nature. So you see, the self-cherishing comes from a wrong view that there is a real I, separate self, me, here. That's where it comes from. When you know that this is not you, it comes from a wrong view. You don't feel so bad about this, about being selfish. You don't feel guilty about it, but you have the energy and the interest to clear it up. And you're able to let go. If you identify with the self-cherishing, I would also almost say don't look at it, because it will make you feel guilty, and as a guilty person you become a horrible person. Do we know that? If you feel guilty, you do not allow other people to be happy because you're unhappy. And you just want to destroy unconsciously everybody's happiness around you. Yeah? So that's why. So these are the kind of the disadvantage of self-cherishing. So we're not seeing this in a judging way. We're seeing this like as a mother is looking at the child and saying, look, the way you behave is really not helpful. The mother can say this with a lot of aggression and a lot of kind of pressure. Or she can say it with love, compassion and wisdom. What you think would be more beneficial. It's clear, isn't it? So we have to be very kind to ourselves when we look at the self-cherishing. Otherwise, we're not allowed to look at it. Because otherwise it will grow, actually. It will grow. So you, again, it's up to you. You know, I'm giving this to the whole group. So you need to see where you are standing. Am I strong enough to look at my self-cherishing without feeling guilty? So when we do it, when we do the meditation, you have to make a promise to yourself that you're not going to judge yourself. Okay? We're very unkind to ourselves sometimes. We're very demanding to ourselves. You know, we think we should be perfect and be able to love everybody and do everything right and never make any mistakes. We're very bad parents to ourselves. We put so much pressure on ourselves. And then when we do make mistakes, my gosh, then so much effort to hide it so that nobody finds out how bad we are. And we think it will make us feel better when we hide our mistakes. It creates a lot of fear when you hide your mistakes. Be open. Communicate. I'm not perfect, so what? What's the big deal? I wish to be perfect. I wish to give you exactly what would be of benefit to you so that you can make progress on this path. But I don't have it. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Yeah? I wish to be loving and compassionate and everything. At one point somebody asked me, a child, if I was angry, she said, "Hey, you're a nun. Are you allowed to get angry?" I said, "Of course I'm not allowed." I am allowed to get angry, but I'm not allowed to not look at the anger. I mean, I'm also allowed to do that. Even as a nun, I'm allowed to do everything. You know? The vows that I took them voluntarily. Because I saw the benefit of it. But you as individuals, if you don't have any vows, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You know, but what you do has consequences. This is what the Buddha says. So kind of when we hear these things, we kind of feel that somebody is imposing that on us. No, he's just saying, you do this, that happens. That's it. If you want to do this, by all means do it. This is what is being said. Now we make a break. It's 11:45. We make a break until 12:15.
Until 12 only.
We have lunch 12:45.
11:05. 20 minutes?
We have 20 minutes break, okay? Then we do short meditation and then